honesty. No matter what. Just be brutally honest.
But when you started Marvel Technologies, this back in 1995, how small was it when you started it, and how did you actually grow it so that it becomes the company that it is now?
We started with, by the end of the first year, we only have 7 people in the whole company, that's including myself. That's it, 7 people.
What was the big break that allowed you to, that put you on the path to success?
The important part is the first product that we built was the right product. What I mean by that was, the specification was just about right. So we built a device that everybody thought was impossible to build at the time, because everybody was building a device with a certain frequency, clock frequency range, and we quadrupled the performance. And in order to quadruple performance, you usually requires about 6 years or so of time scale to get there, according to Moore's law. And we did it in that time frame where everybody else were running at 1/4 the performance.
Is it easy, for entrepreneurs such as yourself to actually start a business in a foreign land, and the regulations?
Well, on the regulation side, I think it's easy because nobody is putting any brakes, nobody putting any red tape. No, that's actually the beauty is that to start a company actually is quite tough, because especially for people like with zero experience and zero track record, most people are skeptical. Investors are skeptical. Customers are skeptical, because customers say, for example, we're trying to build something that's 4 times the performance what the other guys are building. And mind you that these are multi-billion-dollar companies, and we only have 7 people. It's hard for them to believe that somebody with only a company with only 7 people, which never built any chip before. In fact, it's just only barely just graduated from school. Yeah, it's about 5 years after school, but consider barely coming out from school.
How did you do it? How did you do it? For those who want to follow your footsteps,
I think it's like in anything in the world. You just have to believe in yourself. You just have to work hard to make it happen. You have to prove that the skeptics are wrong, and you should never give up. As I said earlier, one of the lessons I learned in life: never to give up.
Sehat Sutarja is one of the many Indonesians scattered around the world, these days referred to as Indonesian diaspora. Unlike the low-skilled migrant workers that characterize the country's foreign workers, immigrants like Sehat bring value, skills and employment to the country they reside in, as well as to the world. Ironically, they often find more resources and opportunities in their adopted countries than in their home country. While given their education, skills and network, people like Sehat could actually boost Indonesia's competitiveness and improve the quality of the country's human capital. Much can be learned from them in terms of knowledge, experience and the desire to succeed. Unfortunately, it is more favorable for our own Steve Jobs to reside in the US than in his own country of origin. This is a pity, as their absence is definitely our loss.
You are in the States, but I think perhaps it would be even greater if we could have some of you here in Indonesia. Now, what are your thoughts? About sharing some of your time, your efforts,
I'm aware of the need of my motherland. I think what's holding us, not stopping, what's holding is that, as I say, it's a chicken egg problem. where do you start? Okay, where do you put the office? Is it going to be in Jakarta? Is it going to be in Bandung? Is it going to be in Bogor? Like, okay, what is the infrastructure? Where do people want to live? Okay, if we want to bring expatriates back from other parts of the world, where most likely they want to live? Okay, and we are working on studying this for quite a while. It feels like slow. Okay, it's painfully slow. But we want to make sure that if we start, we don't want to pull out. Okay, we want to make sure that we're here for good. Yeah.
And you shouldn't miss it, because now Indonesia is coming into the golden period of...
Everybody's saying me the same thing. Sehat, okay, it is.
Yes, I mean, they have the young demographics, the consumer class, and more educated and more sort of urban population. On the other hand, because particularly in a country like Indonesia, where there is a huge economic gap, now cost is a problem, obviously, and there has to be some more efforts to make gadgets and welcome to Facebook. And things cheaper. Now, I understand that you were one of the proponents of the one laptop per child program.
I'm actually, well, thank you for mentioning that. We've been working there for quite a while. Some of us are working in this area. And I think we are on our ways to solve this cost problem. The cost to build those products in the next few years will be so low that we will not you can imagine how could this happen. However, what I'm afraid of is that Indonesia will not be able to take advantage of that low-cost devices if we don't do the right thing now.
Such as?
Such as the infrastructure. If you look at our broadband infrastructure, we are way behind. In order to build that broadband infrastructure in Indonesia, it will take more than 2 years. And it's not a problem that we have to solve. Another problem that people are not talking about. We have huge waste of TV bands. TV stations owns a lot of frequency bands. Very valuable bands. Highly politically charged. TV stations do not need that band. You only need a fraction of those bands to be able to broadcast any contents you want. About 1/4 of what's allocated. If we reallocate a fraction of that, 100, 200 megahertz of those bands, to enable broadband for the masses, we can bring Indonesia to the industrial world, using new technology to bring broadband to the masses, almost instantly. Technologies are here, coming. Low-cost devices are coming. The politics, the regulations are way behind the devices. I'm more worried about that, actually. Not worried about the devices. Whether it comes from us or it comes from our competition, they're coming. Whether we are late or not, they're going to come in within like 6 months or 9 months of each other. The politics not coming in 6 months, 9 months after the devices are out. Talk about cost. The more we fragment the bands, the higher the cost. If we have one contiguous band, the cost will be very, very low, extremely low. We can build handset smartphones, LTE, 4Gs, in a year or so from now, for less than $75. If we have...
If the will is there.
If we have contiguous bands, if we freed up the bands, so that we don't have to have like so many bands to process.
As a by the way, one Indonesian entrepreneur with experience abroad who decided to expand his business at home is one Andrew Darwis. Andrew started his own online company while he was studying in Seattle in the US. He is the founder of Kaskus, the largest and most successful online community in Indonesia. To be sure, this is not on the scale of a global company such as Marvel, but the presence of Kaskus in Indonesia has done much to make the country one of the world's fastest growing internet and social media users.
We got the opportunity to learn from outside Indonesia, like me, when we get advantage of knowing internet early in US. So we got like all the technology, we got all the luxury of the technology first. So if we can bring it back to Indonesia, I think we got more advantage from the others. Kaskus was born in 1989. Yeah, we are early in the industry, so there's none like website back then. So only a news portal like The Tick. And then we keep innovating, and then we keep growing, we keep like adding more features on the Kaskus. And the main important thing is like we keep to be exist until now. Build Kaskus with the mind is not for like getting money or get rich. So we just want to serve. When people using Kaskus back then, so I feel like very happy, like they can get something from Kaskus. That's why the most important, I think, that the passion. And then when you have a passion, and then you keep building, and you keep like persistent, like having it, I think it will become like success.
As we see, Indonesia is not lacking in terms of smart innovators, entrepreneurs, and people with a desire to succeed and compete. Technology is not only the business of the future, it is the business of today, and many young people are keen to be part of this industry and its lifestyle. Most Indonesians are techno-savvy, at least when it comes to using the gadgets. According to recent findings, over 60 million mobiles or handphones were purchased in Indonesia in 2013. The country has a 114% penetration rate of mobiles, with a population of 250 million. Much of it is driven for social media users, placing Indonesia as Facebook's fourth largest market and as the fourth largest Twitter country in the world, with Jakarta as Twitter's #1 city. This makes Indonesia an attractive market for every gadget-related manufacturing company wanting to make their fortune. Unless we start leading in innovation and entrepreneurship, however, Indonesia risks remaining a country of passive consumers rather than active producers, something that requires an overhaul in the way the government implements its technology, business, as well as education policies, probably by changing the nation's mental model to one that has long-term vision and the desire to be part of the global future. Indonesia's leading and innovative educator, Professor Johannes Surya, knows very well the importance of pushing young Indonesians to excel, particularly in the fields of math and science, and creating an environment where they are constantly challenged to perform and compete.
Jadi saya melihat ada sesuatu yang harus diperbaiki gitu. Nah, kemudian saya lihat di tahun 2010 itu jumlah paten Indonesia di internasional itu hanya 15. Sedangkan Cina, saya cari informasinya 314.000. Amerika 216.000. Nah, berarti ada yang salah di sini. Itu sebabnya saya bilang harus dimulai sesuatu gerakan. Gerakan bagaimana orang-orang Indonesia mulai melakukan riset. Riset yang benar-benar top class gitu. World class gitu. Nah, gimana caranya? Saya bilang riset itu di universitas. Jadi akhirnya saya bilang kita putuskan bikin universitas. Tapi universitas itu harus berbasis riset. Sekarang ini abad teknologi, abad globalisasi ya. Orang bicara riset yang terdepan, nah itu yang menjadi daya saing kita di abad globalisasi ini kan. Yang akan menentukan apakah kita bisa survive, apakah kita akan bisa bersaing dengan negara-negara di dunia ini. Ya ini riset ini, inovasi ini. Kalau kita nggak ada inovasi, habis aja kita. Seorang itu akan lebih dihargai jika dia bisa memberi daripada menerima gitu. Nah, sekarang kalau dia bisa memberikan sesuatu dari dirinya gitu, ya dengan inovasi-inovasi, orang akan lebih menghargai dia daripada dia hanya menerima teknologi hasil inovasi itu sendiri gitu. Seorang anak muda apalagi yang sekarang yang masih punya idealisme, punya semangat gitu ya, akan lebih dihargai kan. Saya katakan kalau dia mau dihargai ke depannya, kalau dia terjun sebagai inovator.
Keberagaman di Indonesia.
Bincang Pagi, setiap hari jam 6 pagi.
When it comes to technology, we need the experts, the people who have the know-how and the understanding of what the business is all about and the implications for the future. It is a specialized field requiring specialized individuals like Sehat Sutarja and others like him. When it comes to drawing up policies that impact the growth of technology and broadband in this country, policymakers would do well to get input from those in the know. What Indonesia needs to speed up its digital infrastructure is to free up its broadband networks and capacity as digital traffic increases, much like building new roads to accommodate increased traffic and more power grids to feed more electricity. This will improve storage, speed, productivity and the digital space available to bring the quality of our telecommunications as well as increase our economic and creative potentials on par with the rest of the world. We are, after all, living in the 21st century now, in the hyper-connected digital world.
I mean,
Yes.
what is the danger if we don't do this soon? I mean, how far behind will we be left behind, even by amongst our neighbors?
If we do not free it up with the band 44, the 700 megahertz bands, and we accidentally use that bands for digital TV, we'll be basically stuck with 700 megahertz band being used for digital TV for the next 20, maybe 40 years.
Wow.
It will be a major disaster for the country if we make the choice. No matter how low cost we can make the device, we will never be able to deliver the broadbands. I mean low cost broadbands, okay, or reliable broadbands to the masses. There's a reason to this. The 700 megahertz band is the highest frequency band that is low enough in frequency. They will allow people to build handphones with small antenna built in the handset. The lower the frequency band, the harder it is to build a handset with reasonable size antenna. Okay. Digital TV broadcast does not require a small antenna. Okay. Antenna sitting on the roof.
In parabolas.
Yeah. So they can live with the lower frequency band. They should all move there instead of occupying, squandering, we call it, these available resources.
Well, let's hope Indonesia will not make that mistake.
I hope they will not do it. I hope we will give this ban for the benefits of the consumers, the people.
Back to your personal journey. What's next for you?
I'd love to be able to travel more, go back more often, obviously, travel the world as well. But I think the next 5 years probably will be hectic. As I said earlier, every 10 years or so there will going to be a huge inflection point, and I felt the next wave is coming in the next few years. And I want to make sure that I guide the company, Marvell, to be in the right trajectory, right path.
Well, let's hope we'll get to see a design center here in Indonesia, Marvell Technologies. That's in the
I'm looking forward to
pipeline.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the day then we have a site like that.
Okay, well, Sehat, it's been wonderful talking to you, and certainly looking forward to seeing more of you and your skills and your knowledge and your presence, so that we can inspire and also help Indonesia and Indonesian technology to maybe follow your footsteps and grow with you.
I'm looking forward to be able to contribute, to do concrete contribution instead of just talking.
Okay, great. Thanks very much.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
In order to continue his education and pursue his dreams and passion, Sehat Sutarja had to live and work outside of Indonesia. Let's hope with a better education system, those who wish to follow Sehat's footsteps don't have to leave the country in order to find better opportunities and somewhere where they can make a success of themselves. And that's all for this episode. Don't forget to join me next month when we meet another figure who makes a difference to our lives here on Face to Face with Desi Anwar, bringing you